He's currently a senior healthcare management professional with 28 years of experience.
Higher occupancy rates generally lead to increased revenue as more patients are admitted, and billed for services. So the more revenue, but the profit and loss depends on the finance department, how they manage it. So we monitor, I would say any hospital should get national or international accreditations done. After attending with the Directors Institute, now I feel confident that I can be into the independent board of directors.
Hello everyone, welcome to FaceTime with Leaders, a podcast series by World Development Corporation. I am Rajesh Joshi, uncovering some great achievements and contributions of unsung heroes inspiring others. In our show for the day, we are going to highlight great aspects of Dr. Muqtar Sayeed's career journey. He's currently a senior healthcare management professional with 28 years of experience in the industry. I'm truly excited to begin our interaction, Doctor. We welcome you to the show.
Thank you very much, Mr. Rajesh Joshi. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your kind words.
Dr. Sayeed, your assistance in the supportive works at the hospital is laudable, definitely. Bed occupancy is one area you have brought about great transformations in. Could you please tell us what is its significance for hospitals?
See, to begin with, hospitals are very complex organizations.
Right.
It's not easy like any other industry to manage. It's very complex, and it's very clearly written in the management books as well.
Right.
When it comes to the bed occupancy, it's a critical metric for hospitals. It plays a vital role in several aspects of healthcare management. Bed occupancy reflects how efficiently a hospital utilizes its resources. That includes bed, staff, and equipment.
Right.
And maximizing bed occupancy helps hospitals make the most of their infrastructure. And high bed occupancy can indicate that the hospital is serving its community and ensuring the patients have access to necessary care when they are in need.
Right.
Right. So, and quality, proper bed utilization contributes to better patient care by reducing waiting time and ensuring that patients receive timely treatment, etc. See here, I'm just giving you the basic and some points. I'm not going into the details. It may take hours to talk on this. It may take, it becomes lectures. I'm just giving you some important tips.
Right.
The bed occupancy directly impacts a hospital's revenue and financial stability.
Right.
An optimal balance between occupancy and resources is crucial for financial stability. Bed occupancy patterns are often categorized in two main types. Probably one is steady and the second one is sporadic.
Okay.
The steady type, where the hospital relatively stable number of patients year around, may exhibit a census pattern where bed occupancy remains consistent. Bed occupancy remains consistent with some minor fluctuations, you can say that. Hospitals can allocate resources such as staffing, supplies, and more predictably in this pattern.
Right.
But when it comes to the sporadic peaks, where some hospitals experience significant variation in bed occupancy due to seasonal illness,
Right.
Flu, dengue, and other pandemics, accidents, and etc.
Right.
So managing resources during non-census pattern can be challenging. As such, surges in occupancy require rapid adjustment in staffing and supplies. The most important is that how will you fill the beds? How will you get the patients to your hospital? That you have different strategies, you have different business development, or you can call it a marketing activities. That I have written an article in Stalwarts magazine. Plus, anyone can refer to that. Probably it's available on the internet as well. So I would suggest that I've written a detailed one, so they can get into that, how to get the patients, how to increase the OP volumes, how to increase the IP volumes, how to bring awareness among the population that you exist. You have such a hospital where quality is very important. It's a patient-centric approach, and it's and a lot of things I've written in that. So anyone who is interested can go into the Stalwarts magazine and go through the articles what I have written on strategies and marketing.
Okay.
Yes, Mr. Rajesh.
Yes. So, sir, very, very clearly explained by you that bed occupancy is, I believe, one of the most important metrics or measures of how the hospital is doing in terms of the health of the hospital wise, if we can say that.
Absolutely.
So, sir, what would be the impact of the bed occupancy on a hospital's revenue?
Yeah, very interesting one. All right. Higher occupancy rates generally lead to increased revenue,
Right.
as more patients are admitted. So, and billed for services. So, the more revenue.
Right.
But efficiently managing high occupancy can help hospitals optimize resource utilization, resulting in cost saving.
Right.
And the mix of patient is very important here.
Mm-hmm.
The private insurance, cash patients, what we call it in the hospitals, insurance patients, corporate, PSUs, and government funded.
Okay.
Right. That affects revenue. Hospitals with favorable mix can generate more even with moderate occupancy. So the mix has to be very, very calculated. So you cannot have all the patients from the government funded or the PSUs and all. No, it has to be very balanced.
I mean, it's a no-brainer. Maximum the bed occupancy, maximum is the revenue. I believe this insight about what type of patient is occupying the bed in the hospital becomes a really more important factor in the whole bed occupancy scenario.
Absolutely. So hospitals must be cautious of the cost volume relationship.
Right.
See, balancing occupancy to optimize revenue and patient care is very complex endeavor.
Right.
That requires careful planning and adaptability to different occupancy patterns.
Fantastic. Great insights, sir. Great insights. Sir, your contributions to the medical field are astounding, no doubt about that. And profitability is an important component of your work profile. What are the parameters you use to measure the financial performance of the hospital?
Oh, well, again, on the financial, that's very important subject because nowadays everywhere it's a corporate hospitals, a private hospitals, mushrooming in every city, whether it is metropolitan, cosmopolitan, 2-tier, 3-tier cities. So it's a very important factor. So everybody, it's a profit and loss business. So financial performance is improved in the clinical excellence programs.
Okay.
So, for example, you have a centers of excellences, adding new specialities, and the quality care provided, and patient satisfaction index is very, very important in this. It is also important to measure the financial performance to keep improving the performance and EBIT and compare the hospital's performance to its evaluation as a potential profit-making business, I would say. Right. There are different parameters to measure the financial performance of the hospital. I'll just name a few. Yes, revenue, operating margin, profit margin, return on assets, what we call return on investment, ROIs, debt to equity ratio, liquidity ratio. These are the important things which we need to monitor in a hospital. Yes, Mr.
Absolutely, absolutely, sir. Sir, following up with this question, what would your contributions be to improving the financial performance at the hospital?
Well, to improve, the most important thing is increase patient volume.
Okay, okay.
Right now, that again, I would say that, okay, I've already said it, that I have written an article on strategies, marketing, and all those things in the magazine. So increase patient volumes, improve cost management is very important factor. So you are having a good number of patients. Your gross revenue is very high,
Right.
but you are draining out in the cost. Your manpower cost is very high. Your vendors cost is you are buying consumables on a very high cost. So all this, the cost management is very important in this. Increase revenue sources, optimize pricing strategies, and the most important is improve patient satisfaction.
Right, right, right. Right.
Without patient satisfaction, not only, I would say, not only patient satisfaction, even the patient's attendance who are with the patient relatives, their satisfaction is equally important.
Oh yes, oh yes. I'm sure because they happen to be your ambassadors. I mean, the hospitals' ambassadors outside also, because they are the ones who are actually going to go and talk to other their relatives, their friends about the care that they have or their patient has got at the hospital. I mean, that's
absolutely
fantastic parameter, sir.
Yes.
So moving ahead, sir, our viewers from the healthcare industry would definitely love to know from you as to how do you increase the EBITDA of a hospital. I am 100% sure that they must have taken notes about all the points that you've already mentioned of getting in the revenue, maximizing profitability, etc. Are there any more pointers that you would like to give on this subject, sir?
To increase the EBIT of the hospital, the most important is increase efficiency and reduce costs.
Right.
Then increase revenue, improve billing and collections. When you say billing, I'm not saying that charge extra. What I'm saying is be transparent. Absolutely. You need to be very transparent to your patients. Absolutely. Not even a single rupee should be charged extra. And it should be very clearly explained to the patient attendants before you finalize the bill. If they agree, well and good. If they have any doubts, please clear the doubts before the final bill is prepared and they come to pay. Right, sir? And the capturing is also very important. See, many times in the healthcare industry, what happens is that there are many procedures are done, there are many tests are done, many consumables are used. Sometimes it is missed.
Right.
Right? Right. So there has to be checkpoints every place. There has to be checklists. They have to go number of times. So how many consumables are issued from the store from the supply chain, whether they are billed or not. So and the equipment used in the operation theater, is there anything skipped? So there are a layer of checking. So everybody has to do their responsibilities proper.
Right. Right.
So when they do a proper billing, when they capture the things, everything, whatever is done to the patient in a proper way, then probably you will have a very good EBITDA. And at the same time, collections. Collections, what I meant collections was, so there are PSUs, there are credit patients.
Right. Right.
So they just don't give you immediately. So you need to keep following it up. Continuous monitoring and continuous following it. And also avoid denials from the insurance companies, deductions. So be sure what you are doing, take the approvals from the insurance companies before you go for it. If it is an emergency, give a justification. This was an emergency, but immediately we have come back to you. We have informed you. All those things are there when you are sitting in the chair. It's a continuous process. You keep educating your staff. You keep talking to your staff, operations staff. You talk to the finance department staff. You talk to the billing department staff. So it's a continuous process. So they don't miss in future.
Right.
And then maximize reimbursement, invest in technology. That's very important. Improve patient satisfaction. Again and again, I'm saying, see, everywhere I would say this. For me, my patients are my relatives. I treat them like my own relatives. And I expect when I go, I always keep telling my staff, when we go as a patient to the hospital, what do we expect? The same way every staff has to behave with the patient as if they are their own relative. What you expect, they also expect the same thing. And you need to manage labor cost, increase operational efficiency, as I already said,
Right.
training them, don't miss any opportunities, don't miss the things which you have done, the consumables, the procedures, the equipments used, don't miss it.
Absolutely. Fantastic, sir. I really feel fortunate to have the interaction and uncover such vital aspects of your industry. Very nicely explained, Dr. Mukhtar, I must say that.
Thank you so much.
Well, moving on to the other question in the same space, Dr. Said, how do you monitor KPIs in the finance department?
Yeah, this is another very important factor because the whole hospital profit and loss depends on the finance department, how they manage it. So we monitor, there are a few KPIs I would name. I will not go into the very detail, but I would be very brief in that. Gross revenue. What is gross revenue? It measures the total revenue generated by the hospital, including IP, OP, diagnostics, whether it is lab or radio diagnostic, etc.
Right.
Then discounts, disallowances, measures as a percentage of total gross revenue generated by the hospital. This is one KPI. The other would be, there are many number of KPIs.
Right.
Revenue mix pair, track the percentage revenue coming from the different payers. But I would say such as self-payment, insurance, corporate, PSUs, etc. So you need to monitor. So
Right.
patients, how many patients came as a cash patients? How many patients came from the insurance companies? How many from the PSUs? How many from the government corporates and other government funded schemes? And then there is called revenue mix service line. That measures the percentage of revenue generated by each service line, such as surgeries, ICUs,
Right.
medical management, imaging and diagnostics, etc.
Right.
So in that also, again, how much revenue we are getting from the surgeries, how much revenue we are getting from the ICUs, how much revenue we are getting from the medical management and from the diagnostic services, that you have to, I'm not going to the detail, I'm just giving you some, brief points, because there's a lot of things we monitor from each doctor, from specialty wise, from doctor wise, consultant wise, we do a lot of things, but I'm just giving you a brief idea about it.
Right.
So these are the revenue mix service line. And then comes to the revenue mix patients. This measures the percentage of revenue coming from different types of patients, such as inpatients and outpatients, emergency department and daycare surgeries. So in a hospitals, you have emergency patients. So again, you have to categorize how many patients came from emergency department, how many went away, how many got admitted, and what is the revenue from them.
Right.
How much revenue we had from the OP services, diagnostics, daycare surgeries, and all those things, and different procedures, as I mentioned. And then again, we have revenue mix geography.
Okay.
So the percentage of revenue coming from different geographic regions.
Mhm.
So we divide, we are hospital sitting in one city. So which side patients are coming more? Are
Okay.
nearby districts, nearby towns. So from where the patients are coming more. And we also monitor what type of patients are coming from which area.
Okay. Okay.
Suppose now if I'm getting a call, the call center of a hospital is like it's a face of the hospital.
Right.
So when you receive a calls continuously, you're receiving a calls from a particular area on a
Mhm.
cardiology inquiry about their doctor's availability in cardiac sciences. So then we know that that area, maybe there are elderly patients. So what we do is that we go to that area, we might try to conduct a camp. We see the potential cases who are probably feeling fine, but probably in future the cholesterol levels are high, or we will find it out, and then we will advise them, please, you are having this problems, you can visit a hospital, we'll take care of it.
Yeah.
So that's a preventive.
Yeah.
Right, sir. And
Right.
then this is geographic. Then there's a lot of things I will be mentioning.
Right.
Then revenue mix, case mix index, something
Mhm.
called. This is also a KPI by
Okay.
the finance department.
Okay.
This indicates the hospital is treating more complex cases, which results in higher reimbursement rates. So
Okay.
in this, what happens that the more critical cases we receive, the more complex patients we have, so the revenue is more. The patient stays longer in the ICU.
Correct. Correct.
So that also we have to see. It sounds very odd, so I'm not going to say that. But we always see that the what should I say? Uh, the complicated cases, more complicated patients,
Right.
where there's a multi-organ failure, that the patient came to us, we revived them, and the patients became well and he's been discharged. But at the end, the bill is huge.
Right.
But if they are satisfied with our services, probably they will not say anything. They'll just pay your bill and clear the bill, and they will be thankful to you.
Right.
So the quality of care is very important. Communication in healthcare industry is very important. But anyhow, I'll come to that topic at a later stage if you ask me on that. Otherwise, we'll stick to the KPIs of the finance, right? And then we have a doctor physician fee. This measures the doctor's professional fee as a percentage to the total gross revenue generated by the hospital. So how much we pay to the doctors, how many
Okay.
salaries we are paying, how much money from we are giving to the doctors. So that also has to be monitored by the finance department. Then what is the operating margin? This measures the hospital operating margin, measure the hospital's profitability by calculating the difference between revenue and expenses as a percentage of total revenue. So what revenue we got it, how much we are spending. It's very simple in that. So if you can reduce it to increase the EBITDA. You need to reduce it.
Right.
That's another very different topic. We'll talk some other day. And then again, occupancy rate. This measures occupancy rate measures the percentage of hospital beds that are occupied by the patients, reflecting the services and capacity utilization.
Okay. Okay.
Right. So usually, what we say, what is your occupancy rate? Occupancy rate has to be between 70, 80, 90. Good. In that, again, categorize how many cash TPA, how many corporate PSUs, credit patients, how many, all those things we have to do. But that is also monitored, occupancy rate. What is the occupancy rate?
Right. Right.
And ALOS, what is ALOS? Average length of stay.
Right.
This
Okay.
tracks the average number of days a patient stays in the hospital, which can impact cost, resources utilization, and patient outcome.
Mhm.
This is very important. And there's a lot of misconception. When you go to the hospital, they say that the hospitals will not discharge; they'll just keep the patient and to take the money. That's a very wrong concept. It's if it is a good, but it doesn't happen in any corporate hospitals.
Okay.
Because they want to keep the patient. The less number of days, the more the revenue they generate on the bed.
Oh, okay.
We always try to keep the average length of stay of a patient, especially in the wards, to the minimum. The patient feel fits, so we want them to go home. There are multiple reasons. Forget about from our point of view, but at the same time for the safety of the patient also, because we don't want to get the patient have a hospital-acquired infections.
Okay.
Then it becomes terrible for the patient attendants, and even to the hospital also. So it's always we keep the loss to the minimum, not, I would say, 3 days, 2.5 days, 3 days is good, but sometimes it happens 4 days. But make sure that you keep your loss in check. Then ARPOP, we monitor the finance department, and even as a CEO, we monitor ARPOP, average revenue per occupied bed.
Okay.
So this measures the average amount of revenue generated per hospital bed, reflecting the hospital's pricing strategy and capacity utilization. So these two have a connections, ALOS and ARPOP. The ALOS is less, the ARPOP is high.
Okay.
The ALOS is more, say ALOS has gone to 8 days, then that bed is not generating any revenue for us.
Okay.
Because new patient comes, new investigations, new things will happen, new procedures. So the bed generates revenue. If a patient stays just lying down, staying, doing nothing, just taking some 3 times a day medicines and happy, that's a dead patient. So the two ALOS and ARPOP has got interconnection. Keep the ALOS low, increase the ARPOP more. Right? Revenue per patient is also very important. Measure this average amount of revenue generated per patient. This reflects the hospital pricing strategy. I already said that.
Wow.
The revenue per patient that reflects the hospital's pricing strategy and patient volume. And then next KPI what we monitor is accounts receivable days. The number of days it takes for the hospital to collect payments from patients and insurance providers, the government schemes, etc., reflects billing and collection efficiency. So the more the number of days, probably you're not doing good. So your team is not doing good. They're not following it up. You need to push them hard. It's not easy to manage. So then there are another. I'm remembering another 2 KPIs in the finance department. Average reimbursement per patient, the average amount of reimbursement received per patient from insurance providers. This reflects hospitals' revenue stream and payer mix. This is one KPI they usually follow. And another one is operating expenses per adjusted discharge. Again, the hospital's operating expenses per patient discharge, reflecting the hospital's cost structure and its efficiency.
I just wanted to ask that the measure of this KPI happens on a monthly basis or on a quarterly basis?
Well, I would say I would do it on weekly basis.
Oh my goodness. So which means there would be a lot of automation also?
Yes, like HIS. If you have a very good HIS, they always keep a track of everything. Everybody watches it. Everybody sees on their screens the supply chain, the finance manager, and the CEO. and the heads of the different departments, operations, manager of the OT, they'll be monitoring it. Suppose if they miss anything, they can immediately add. There is no point. Okay, at the end we review after a month. There is a review meeting every after month. Monitoring is on day-to-day basis.
Okay.
Monitoring happens on day-to-day basis, case-to-case basis.
My goodness.
And days of cash on hand, that's also important KPI. What it measures is the number of days the hospital can cover its expenses with its available cash reserves, reflecting the hospital's liquidity and financial stability. This is how it reflects the hospital's financial stability. So you need to have cash. So that's why you need to have more cash patients. So that you can pay your bills.
Sir, I mean, you have taken us through the finance responsibilities that you're currently looking at, and if I have to, I mean, one definitely cannot summarize them, but some of the takeaways that I feel that I'm taking away from here is, one is transparency, because these are the softer aspects that I believe. I am more of a believer of the softer aspects. The second is the tracking and monitoring of what type of patients rather than just the number of beds, which I really found very insightful. Apart from the finance KPIs about looking at costs, looking at finance efficiency, looking at ROCE or ROI, and obviously also looking at revenue generations, proactive patient management, which I believe is called preventive management. I mean, all of these things, I believe, from the finance part, are my key takeaways from this discussion so far, sir. Am I right? Would I be wrong?
Absolutely. When you divide and see, you will have many more things in that.
Right, sir. Your work responsibility also involves driving operational efficiency. Now, this involves enhancing productivity, managing quality, and a lot more. It would be really helpful if you could share some insights into this part also, sir.
Yeah. Well, I would say any hospital should get national or international accreditations done.
Okay.
Whether it is national accreditation, NABH, or it is an international accreditation, accreditations like JCI, and there are many more.
Okay.
That is very important. And it's not only getting accreditation is important, and implementing is very important in that. Usually what happens is that you get accredited and you forget. But if I am the CEO, probably I won't allow that. I keep auditing. So there are a number of SOPs, or what you call it, policies and procedures. In every area. The minute patient enters, from that till the patient goes away. So there are set guidelines, set standards, and there are policies and procedures are made on that. Are we following it or not? So for that, we do auditing. And if we follow that, your operational efficiency will be very good.
Absolutely.
And if there are any bottlenecks, shortfalls in any of the processes, immediately we can take a corrective actions. Say, for example, the waiting time is more. Patients have come but waiting for a longer time. The doctor is not available. So I would say that how many patients came, what are the waiting time? When the patient registered, what time the doctor has seen? Reason, the operation manager's responsibility is to go and find out. The doctor is late, doctor is not available. If the doctor is not available, why doctor is not available? Do we need more doctors? Or the patient has come for that doctor only? Can we request the doctor? Since the patients are waiting for a longer time, so we request the doctor. So we have then we will come out with a strategy. Okay, then we should have an appointment system. Sometimes there are occasions where doctors are in operation theaters doing some emergency cases. So that's a time when We explain to the patient that doctor is attending an emergency surgery. You will have to wait, and will make the patients wait comfortably by offering them something and have some entertainment around the waiting area. Give them some brochures so that they can read about the hospital and all those things, tricks.
Right.
They are there. And then what else is there? There are many things. Like patient is come to the reception, gone to the OPD, seen the doctor, comes out, and he's lost. Where patient should go now? What doctor has written? Go and get these investigation done. So there has to be somebody to do handholding. So handholding of the patients are very important. You need to guide the patients. Though there are signages, but there are many patients which probably they don't understand in the language written. They don't read it. So there has to be person very humble, very politely. The moment the patient comes out of the doctor's room, check the things. But nowadays there are prescription, so automatically. But still, you need the directions. So they say that okay, you need to go to lab services. You need to go to diagnostic radio diagnostic services. So somebody should be there to guide. So you go this way, you go this way. So the hand holding of the patients are very, very important. Right. And then what else is monitored? There are leakages happens usually in every hospital. Patients have come to OP, doctor advised admission, but the patient is not ready to get it. So counseling has to. If you can offer something, you offer the patient, but see to it that patient is retained. So OP to IP conversion is also monitored, and OP to the lab services is also very important. Otherwise, they will say, okay, we'll get it done outside. So we don't know, because a corporate hospital, a private hospital means they are bound by certain rules and regulations. They're all highly accredited, and there is an audit by third-party audits keeps happening. So everything is in checks and balance. Right. So, but we don't know the quality of investigations done outside. We have no idea about it. So our doctors may not accept it. So it's better to advise the patient, do the counseling, and transfer the patients. Usually these are the things. Counseling, see, I had earlier said that counseling is very important. Communication is very important. Communication between the doctors and patient attendants is very, very important, especially when the patients are in critical care area. I used to suggest them to have at least once or twice a counseling. Okay. Morning when you come, do the counseling, the patient attendants after seeing the patient. Then evening before leaving the hospital, meet the patient attendants, do the counseling, and go. And at the same time, whenever you do a counseling, make sure that they document it. That's also very important, documentation. Because if something happens, something goes wrong, then you don't have evidence that you have done a counseling. So you need to document as well.
Sir, I mean, from whatever we have discussed so far, you are holding senior management positions at a hospital, and you're looking at operations, you're looking at finance, you're looking at the whole gamut of the business. And I must say, as you rightly said in the beginning, that this is indeed a complex business. Also, at the same time, create a happy patient. And at the same time, that it is also a threat, it is also a challenge that if you miss it, it's gone. It's a very dynamic business, I must say so, sir.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes, sir.
Moving from here, now you're planning to take up a directorship role. Your pro-service nature offers a good basis for it, no doubt about that. But you're also upping your game in ESG and corporate governance. So what are some of your plans with it now, sir?
Well, after attending with the Directors Institute, now I feel confident that I can be into the independent board of directors. Right? Great. Not only in the healthcare industry, I can also be in any other industry. Of course, healthcare is definitely a complex one, right, but that's my expertise area. And secondly, ESG in the healthcare perspective. Of course, there are differently other industries have a huge one, but in healthcare, in hospitals also there are that they can cause environmental problems, energy usage, emissions. We have big, what is it called, HVAC systems.
Right.
We also use generators. Then we also have hazardous and non-hazardous waste generated in the hospitals. Their management properly is important factor. There are regulatory bodies which are monitoring.
Right.
So we need to abide by the rules and regulations. See, when you say that biomedical waste management, so whether we need to see from the point of generation where it is generated. The segregation is properly done or not.
Yes.
Once segregation is properly done and then it is properly packed in the colored bags, then usually these are the outsourced areas. So outsourced company, which company you are hiring? Is that company recognized? Are they following all the regulations? You hire only such a companies, and then you have a tie-up, so they come and collect it. But another important factor, what I have seen, I've done also, and I'm in favor of that, rain harvesting pits.
Okay.
We need to have a rain harvesting pits in the hospital campus, especially if there is any area, please have a rain harvesting pits, because Pollution Control Board will be monitoring that. When they come for inspection, they would definitely ask you for that.
Okay.
Other areas are very important, like drugs used in cancer. Some drugs are biohazardous. Their preparation is very important. How are you preparing the drug? Dosage, how are you preparing the dosage? How do you deliver it to the patient? So you cannot just go and keep on, making it everywhere, and the drug is in the atmosphere and the environment is contaminated.
Right.
And the staff working there, whether they are wearing PPEs while delivering these drugs to the patient, whether the drug delivered to the patient is a biohazardous or not. So all these things, so ESG plays a very important role in healthcare as
well. Right, sir. Sir, I definitely appreciate you being so foresighted. Directors Institute is your go-to platform for upskilling in ESG and corporate governance. How close do you think you are to your boardroom role with our assistants?
Well, that's $1 million question. I don't know, but definitely personal level, I would say that I'm feeling pretty confident. The amount of material I have received, the lectures I'm attending, very composed, very soft, to the point, very knowledgeable, and one-to-one interactions. Too good. I probably, I wouldn't have expected this much. So every day some new things I keep seeing. So I would suggest, I'm pretty confident that if given an opportunity, I would definitely be a good independent board of directors.
Great, sir. Great, sir. Thank you. Thank you for the kind words, sir. And this episode definitely has turned out very amazing. And I'm sure all our viewers watching this have taken due notes and have taken a lot to learn from whatever you have shared, sir. We wish you all the very best for all your future endeavors, sir.
Thank you so much, Mr. Rajesh Joshi. Thank you so much. Pleasure talking to you.
Thank you, Dr. Mukhtar Sayeed. Thank you for being on the show.
Thank you, sir. Bye-bye.
Thanks, sir. Bye.